It's a freezing evening in the north of England. Inside the grand estate of Wishwood, the wealthy Monchency family is gathering for a reunion. It's been 8 years since they were all in the same room. They're waiting for the guest of honor, the eldest son, Harry. And as they wait, the uncles and aunts agree on one strict rule: behave as if absolutely nothing has changed. They are determined to keep the conversation light and avoid any mention of the past. The matriarch of the family, Amy, enforces this rule with an iron grip. She insists that every clock, every routine, and every piece of furniture remain exactly where it was a decade ago, freezing her family in an artificial state of normalcy. T.S Eliot specifically designed this stifling upper-class setup to lull his audience into a false sense of security. You sit down expecting a polite British drawing room comedy, but the author is actually baiting a trap for a psychological thriller. The doors open and Harry finally arrives, but he doesn't offer a polite greeting. His first words to his bewildered family shatter the illusion immediately. Harry announces that his wife didn't accidentally drown on their recent transatlantic voyage. He claims he murdered her, pushing her over the rail of an ocean liner into the freezing water below. And the confession gets stranger. Harry insists he didn't return to Wishwood alone. He claims to be hunted by invisible, terrifying creatures, ancient spirits that he can see staring at him right now through the drawing room window. The aunts and uncles immediately panic. They dismiss the murder confession entirely, assuming Harry is suffering from severe exhaustion and a nervous breakdown after losing his wife. We are left with a stark mystery. Either Harry is a dangerous killer whose mind is fracturing under the weight of his crimes, or he is experiencing a profound, terrifying reality that his family is entirely blind to. To figure out what actually happened on that ship, we have to look at the evidence like a detective. The only witness to the couple's dynamic is Downing, Harry's chauffeur. He spent years observing their miserable marriage from the outside. Downing testifies that Harry's wife was highly unstable and prone to erratic behavior. In his view, she lacked the courage to live, making her death much more likely a tragic accident or a suicide than a murder. But Eliot leaves the physical facts of the incident completely ambiguous. We never find out for sure if Harry pushed her, because to the playwright, the physical action is entirely beside the point. The focus shifts from the crime at sea to the state of Harry's mind. The physical facts of the disappearance matter far less than the internal cancer of guilt that is visibly consuming him. If we look at this animated family tree, we see a technique Eliot called the mythical method, using ancient mythology to make sense of modern life. Watch as a 20th century lineage morphs directly into the ancient Greek bloodline of the House of Atreus. That ancient family includes Orestes, a legendary Greek hero. After Orestes killed his own mother, he was relentlessly hunted down by the Eumenides, also known as the Furies, avenging spirits of the underworld. Eliot is projecting this myth directly onto his play. Harry is a modern Orestes, and those hallucinations he sees staring through the drawing room window are the ancient Furies physically manifesting in a polite British parlor. The ancient Greeks understood that a curse required deep moral cleansing, but Harry's modern family responds to his spiritual agony by suggesting they pour a sherry and call a local doctor to calm his nerves. The family's insistence on a medical cure reveals the gap between their world and Harry's. They see a malfunctioning patient to be medicated. Harry sees a spiritual crisis that no doctor can reach. Harry realizes he can't find answers from his uncles or his mother. He turns to his Aunt Agatha, the only person in the house who seems to operate on his wavelength. Agatha reveals a difficult truth. As long as Harry tries to run from his guilt or numb it, the Furies will continue to tear his mind apart. Harry stops looking for an escape and starts looking for a meaning. He realizes these creatures aren't here to punish him, but to force him awake, demanding he notice the spiritual numbness that has settled over Wishwood. To Harry, facing the darkness isn't a symptom of madness. It is the first step toward a transformation his family will never understand. Once Harry stops running and turns to accept his guilt, the Furies transform. They shed their horrific shapes and become bright angels, divine figures guiding his path forward. With his vision clear, Harry makes his final decision. He leaves Wishwood forever. He isn't fleeing like a criminal anymore. He is embarking on a deliberate pilgrimage to seek true expiation. He walks out into the unknown, embracing a painful but liberating journey. Meanwhile, his family remains exactly where we found them, safely trapped in a comfortable, dead house, waiting for the clock to tick. The family reunion delivers a harsh but hopeful truth. Peace isn't found in a comfortable drawing room or a doctor's prescription. It only comes to those willing to walk directly through the darkness they've spent their lives trying to outrun.